Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. It's time for the Ides of March race of the day. Let's take a look at the field for the $100,000 Damon Runyon Stakes. It's race number 8 at Aqueduct, going 7/8 of a mile for New York bred 3-year-olds. And as you see from this morning line, Mike, this is a wide open race. We've got Dream Bigger at 3, 2 horses at 7-2, More Grateful at 4, Chowda at 5, Prince of Pharaohs at 6. Talk about wide open. They all can win.
It does sort of seem like that. I mean, I didn't have an easy time throwing anybody out there. I mean, I like some of them better than the others, but I wouldn't be surprised by anybody in this race.
Perhaps the Timeform US pace projector will provide some clues, and they don't believe that this race will be run at a really fast pace. Dream Bigger, just a little bit of a disappointment last time out, Mike. I like that Rudy's fresh in this one, and maybe that's all that he needed, a little bit of freshening. He's got speed in the rail.
I like that they gave him a little time too. They've done a lot with him in a short amount of time. He's been favored in every one of his starts. Listen, he is a 2-time stakes winner already. Outside of the last one where I didn't think he ran well, pretty much he's shown up every time. Other than that, even his race 2 back then, to me, that was a really tough beat. A big purse for that race. I thought he ran the best race, but he just got nailed.
No, I agree. Outside post, wet track, pushing the pace throughout, wide, fighting all the way down to the wire. One of the reasons why he was a heavy favorite last time out in the Rego Park, and we turn into the stretch, and Dream Bigger's already done. He was on the lead. He is spent, and we see Silly K on the outside in here. Just take the number of Dream Bigger, and Dream Bigger, there's no response here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to me, it wasn't a surprise that Silly K beat him because Silly K is a nice horse in his own right. You just didn't think it would be that easy, Dan. Silly K actually took the race to Dream Bigger relatively early on, and Dream Bigger just didn't really have any response, and he was disappointing. But as you say, he's been freshened since then, and it could make a difference.
More Grateful's the number 2, and he might be the horse with the most upside and most long-term potential in this race. He's going to be making his stakes debut off this maiden win on February the 17th. He had an outside post position, didn't break great, got a nice ride by Vargas, splitting horses, turning into the stretch, now getting to the outside, and he's going to run this horse down on the lead. He's still a little bit green, but you get the feeling that this horse can run a bit for Brad Cox. The question is, can he stay close enough to the pace? I think he can, going 7/8.
Yeah, if he breaks, I think he can too. We'll see. He's had a little trouble at the gate in 2 of his 3 starts, so that's a concern. But to me, he's run really well in all 3 of his starts. He got a little unlucky in the first 2. And last time, as you say, he stumbled pretty badly at the start of that race to wind up way out of it and just made a long, sustained run all the way through that race and carried it through the stretch too. I mean, I was pretty taken with his win last time. This is a way tougher spot. This horse is pretty good, though.
Bourbon Bay is up next. Bourbon Bay second behind Independence Hall, one of the top 3-year-olds in the country in the Jerome. He dead heated for second with Prince of Pharaohs, who we'll get to in a little bit. Then he came back in the Gander against New York Breds, and he was the beaten favorite that day. I don't know, he kind of was one-paced. I was a little disappointed that the kick wasn't there. Maybe turning back to 7 will help him out, but he's going to need some help up front.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was a little disappointed in his race last time, too. I do think he was pace compromised in that race. They did not go fast early in there, and he was last. He just didn't really kick it in at any point in the stretch where you felt like he was going to be a factor at the end. It was a little disappointing, but maybe he had an excuse.
We saw Silly K win the Rego Park running away from Dream Bigger. He then ran in the Gander. It was his first start going a route of ground. It was a 1-turn mile. He was very wide, chasing the pace, Mike, and he really didn't finish with a lot of strength. He was on his left lead a long way down to the wire. I wonder if that mile was just a little bit far for him. I think he'll appreciate turning back in distance. I'm just not sure which Silly K we're going to get, the good one from 2 or 3 back or the one from last time.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm good. I am going to give him the distance excuse last time. I really think that he just didn't want to go the mile. So cutting back is a really good thing for him. Each of his first 4 career starts I thought were all really good. And I do think he's going to really appreciate the shorter distance.
Chowda has won his last 3 starts on fast going, and I think he will be a solid enough price in this race for low-profile connections. We'll watch his last race, the Gander, and Eric Cancel gave him a really nice ride. He hustled him right out of the gate to get to the front. He was able to back the pace down. You see the 6 furlong time in 1:14. It looks like he's in big trouble. He's in the 2-path right now. There's a 5-2 shot to his inside. There's Silly K to his outside. And somehow, and this has been the story of Chowda's career, somehow he gets it done.
Yeah, he just battles back in this race. He did look beat in mid-stretch there, but he fought on and prevailed. He did, from a pace perspective, have all the best of it. Bank on Shea there, who was challenging him in the stretch, just sort of conceded the lead to him early, and I think that wound up making the difference late. But I don't want to take too much away from this horse, Dan. He doesn't get that much respect. He's won 3 times already. I don't think the 7 furlongs is a big deal for him. The cutback shouldn't affect him, and he's probably going to be a good price again.
Prince of Pharaoh 6-1 on the morning line. Again, dead heated in the Jerome for second behind Independence Hall. They tried him in the Withers. That didn't work out. So Linda Rice dropped this horse into a state-bred 1X. The horse was heavily favored. And we turn into the stretch, and Prince of Pharaohs is on the lead and on the rail. And I think you could look at this race one of 2 ways. You could say, okay, he battled with the 7 Giant Shoes. He's putting Giant Shoes away. He did all the dirty work, and he's going to get run down by Titan's Will, who we'll get to in a second. Or you could say, listen, he's supposed to win this race, and he didn't, and it's a disappointing loss.
Yeah, I think both of those things are true. He did, at the end of the day, Giant Shoes felt like his main competition, and that's who he was racing early. And so maybe it just softened him up enough. But at the other side of that is he's probably supposed to win anyway. Titans Will stepping up off a 25 maiden claimer and ran him down. And also just want to throw in the fact that on February 21st, it did sort of feel like the rail was the place to be. And that's where Prince of Pharaoh was the entire time. Couldn't hold on.
And to show how competitive this field is, Titans Will is the number 7, completing the field. He's 12-1 on the morning line. He just beat Prince of Pharaohs, who's a stakes-placed horse. And maybe it was as simple as getting this horse out to a mile. He's won his last 2 starts now. We saw him take down Prince of Pharaohs at a big price. Yes, he probably needs to improve a little bit from a buyer's standpoint, but these connections have done a great job with this horse.
Yeah, they really have. This is a very good trainer, and they've gotten this horse good in his last 2 starts. I'm not surprised they're taking a shot at a better race with him because he's in great form right now.
Top pick for the $100,000 Damon Runyon Stakes. Again, it is a wide open event. More grateful, Mike. You like the way he closed down that field last time out. Goes out for a really top trainer in Brad Cox. And a guy, I think he might have the most long-term potential of any horse in this race.
I kind of agree with you. And I just like all 3 of his starts. I know that this is a tougher spot, but this horse looks pretty good to me.
Chowda keeps proving the doubters wrong. I think he's going to work out a decent trip again while pretty close to the pace on the outside. We'll see if he's good enough. It's a wide open race. Beware the Ides of March, but not with Mike Beer's selections. He usually gets you through it. The number 2, More Grateful, is his top selection. And the $100,000 Damon Runyon, Sunday's race of the day, approximate post time, 5:01 Eastern. Good luck.